Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you needed any more information to think to yourself, CD Projekt Red probably not going to be doing very well in the future, considering they've been shilling for identity politics for the last few years. They have been going down the DEI ESG rabbit hole. You already know what's been happening with CD Projekt Red because we already reported on it, right? Well, apparently, now we got one of the final nails in the coffin to confirm that CD Projekt Red is going to be one of those companies that is just not going to be its former self, right? It's going to be another BioWare. So apparently, Sweet Baby Ink Defender, who says that every lever must be pulled in order to push LGBTQ agenda, announces that she has now joined CD Projekt Red.
Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't remember who this person is, Mary Kenny was the person who was working at Insomniac Games, and Mary was the one who was working particularly on the Wolverine game, which is very interesting because up until recently, she was talking about this game nonstop and how she cannot wait for it to come out and whatnot, and all of a sudden, she is now working for CD Projekt Red. This is a very interesting development, and let's get into it, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. I mean, the eyes don't lie, right? Like, the eyes tell everything that you need to know when it comes to these psychopaths, right? Mary Kenny, like it said earlier in the article, Mary Kenny was a defender and is still a defender of Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI consultancy firms, and she defends them because obviously she's a shill for left-wing identity politics in video games and entertainment. You can tell, if you couldn't tell by her words, you can damn tell by this facial screenshot that's going on here. So it says, Mary Kenny, the former associate narrative director at Insomniac Games, who was working on Marvel's Wolverine, announced that she's joined CD Projekt Red. Now, I don't know if this means that Wolverine is saved, because honestly, I don't think that at all. I think Wolverine is going to be complete shit. Considering what we've seen about the actual game, it doesn't look good, right? So just because this person is leaving doesn't mean she's not going to be replaced by someone who's just as bad, if not worse. It says, Kenny posted to LinkedIn, "Without further ado, it's time to announce my new job. Today was my first day as a senior writer at CD Projekt Red, best known for the Witcher series and Cyberpunk 2077. She added, "I can't wait to talk more about my project. I'm thrilled to be getting back into RPGs, and my team is talented, welcoming, and just flat out cool. Here's to a new adventure." Now, I'm extremely, and I mean extremely, worried because I thoroughly love the Witcher series. I do. I feel like the Witcher series is some of the best RPGs out there, especially from a developer like this is not Japanese. I genuinely believe that. But when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, obviously you guys know Cyberpunk 2077 was a clusterfuck of a release and didn't deserve anywhere near the amount of defending that it got. It released in such a broken state, and even though the game is good now, many years later, the fact of the matter is they released this game utterly broken, especially if you tried to play on last-gen consoles. They released the game so bad that the game had to be taken off of the store to stop people from buying it because it was that terrible, right? So I'm never going to let CD Projekt Red live it down, but honestly, hopefully they learn from it and don't pull a Bethesda and release broken games so much that they basically expect that from you, right? CD Projekt Red, I feel like the quality was always much higher than that, but it seems like they're going down the rabbit hole of just utter garbage, and it's probably because they keep hiring DEI hires, right? They keep hiring people who don't actually deserve to be there. They probably didn't get there based on their merit, and I'm not saying hire a white guy, but what I'm saying is perhaps you should go actually hire someone who knows what the fuck they're doing and stop paying attention to their skin color, because it clearly is showing in the products that you're releasing recently. You didn't have this issue before, right? You didn't have none of these issues before until you started embracing DEI. And it's amazing how these companies, when they start embracing DEI, their products start taking a hit. You wonder why that is, right? So I don't think Marvel's Wolverine is saved. I think Marvel's Wolverine is still going to be a shit show. It's only a matter of time. It says Kenny recently detailed in an interview with DualShockers in May that everything must be done to push the LGBTQ plus agenda. She reacted to GLAAD report bemoaning the lack of LGBTQ plus characters in video games, describing the report as heartbreaking. She also stated that the GLAAD report tells us something key. Games are a way for LGBTQ people to socialize, but it also tells us something heartbreaking, that LGBTQ gamers don't feel that developers are thinking of them when they design games. Well, quite frankly, the developer shouldn't be thinking about anybody, right? A developer should be thinking about the kind of game that they want to make, right? A certain genre of a game, and then push it towards that genre, right? Like white people, black people, that's not a genre, that's a person. So they're making video games based off genres, and then whoever is supporting that particular genre, that's who they're trying to placate to. Otherwise, nobody cares, right? Nobody's going to try. If you make a video game specifically for gay people, you are going to alienate over 90% of the population. I hope you understand that, right? Especially when you're talking about adults, when you're talking about people who are in their young 20s to high 20s, maybe even low 30s, the average player base, right? When you're talking about them, you are heavily going to alienate a lot of people. And this has been proven through multiple different video games and projects that have been complete and utter flops because they decided to focus on DEI over actually making a good game. And it's quite unfortunate. It says, Kenny added, there are so many LGBTQ developers. Yeah, because a lot of them have to essentially lie about being LGBTQ in order to save their job. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these white people, white leftists who are in the industry, they know that DEI is coming for their job. It's only a matter of time. So what do? They end up either transing themselves or they end up doing some form of LGBTQ grifting so that way they can be protected, because their whiteness ain't going to protect them. They're going to get fired and replaced by a DEI hire. They know this. It's already happening. To the people who didn't do this, it's already happening. And then it says, in order to obtain this, she declared, we need to pull every lever we have, characters, community support, mechanics, to make it so. Not only as Kennedy made it abundantly clear that she would do everything in her power to push the LGBTQ plus agenda, she defended Sweet Baby Inc. after working with consultancy group on Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, we already know about this. We already talked about this. There's no denying it. I'm extremely worried that she's going to be, what's her position? She's going to be a senior writer. Okay, so she's going to be someone with a little bit of influence over there at CD Projekt Red. Somebody who has a face like this, I mean, come on. Do you really want them working on the Witcher series, or do you want them working on the next Cyberpunk? If you guys remember, I made a video talking about the discussion around Cyberpunk and how apparently the developers think that they didn't go hard enough with the social messaging. They flat out said that they should have done more with the social messaging and to push more of a social narrative. So now it makes me understand, and also nervous to understand, that they hired Mary Kenny for this game. This is the kind of person that you will hire when you want to push social messaging in your game. So this all but confirms that the next Cyberpunk and the next Witcher game is going to be filled with identity politics. How are they going to squeeze it in The Witcher? I really don't know, to be honest with you. But Cyberpunk, they could do whatever the fuck they want because it's based in the future. So it's a dystopian game. They could do literally anything to push their message. So we're going to find out what ends up happening, obviously, in the future. But I wanted to bring this news to you guys because this is not a good look if you are a fan of CD Projekt Red. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.